Here in this video, I'm going to show you how to install the Malibu gear shift selector knob that allows you to manually switch between gears using the plus and minus buttons on the side of the knob onto my Vanderhall. Here's the tools I use to shift out the gear shift knob. Had to have the 4mm over here, either in the T-handle or like I put it here on a socket with a little driver. There's also a 3/32 that you need for the set screw in the side of the shifter. These are the pieces I removed. Cable tie, the spring, a spacer, the little block that stops at the back of the shifter from going into manual, and the actual shift knob. I left the tape there and just peeled the leather gear shift boot off of it after I cut off the cable tie. All right, a little work here. You take loose the top cover to the center shifter and console cover there. That's just these 3 screws that use a 4mm Allen or hex head. Next, we're going to pull out the screws here on the side of the shifter knob, pull it up. I've already pulled the boot up some around this. There's the spring at the top. You can see where that set screw is tightened down. I only had to loosen the one side, and that was oddly a 7/32 hex wrench to loosen that. And then it slid right up. Next, I'm going to cut this cable tie around the boot, stick the new shifter. We'll figure out if it needs that adapter or what it needs. Okay, so I removed the spring and a little spacer on there, snapped the little adapter on the gear shifter, stuck it through the boot, so it'll be ready to go on and have the boot around it. And then we just slide it down on here, it looks like. So see, it has those electrical connectors that are gonna make connection, and that will give you the bump shift. And it's snapped into place. Okay, one more thing. There was one little sticky bumper right there at the back of the shift area that I removed. Looked kind of like this cleared one, but thicker. And we're gonna see if it'll work with this clear one still in place or if we have to remove it too, I'm not sure. We're gonna leave it back from the test drive, and it worked perfectly. So let's look at the parts that we removed over here. All right, we took out the 3 screws that we're gonna put back in. That's gonna hold the center console cover on place. We removed the spring and the little washer or bushing that was underneath it. This is the bumper right here that I took off at the back. It's just stuck on there, it was sticky. Pull that off and you can pull it back to manual mode. This was the wrench that I had to use to actually remove the little set screw. It just took like half a turn. It was a 3/32 of an inch tiny set screw in the shifter right here on the side of it. There was only one side that I had to loosen and mine came off. So you might have to find out if you loosen one or both. And there was also this sticky tape around the top of the shifter. Helped hold the boot in place, I think. And then there was a cable tie around the boot that held it. So removed those items. There's the cable tie that I cut off. I replaced it with a new one. And now I'm gonna go tuck the boot in. Here we are at the boot. So the boot, basically you just get a lot of material. I think some of this will tuck back down in there. Some of it may be above and it just won't bother me too bad. I'm using one of these plastic trim tools just to tuck the boot material back down in and around the area. And then we'll put the top center trim back over. There's the shifter knob on. I have tucked my boot in around it. Left kind of a healthy amount of wrinkle here at the front that can pull up as you pull the gear shifter back. Neat thing about this shifter, of course, is you've got gear selection on the side. Works perfectly. On the dash, it'll show which gear you're in. So even when you switch to manual mode, it's still gonna show 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever gear you're currently in. And then as you shift up and down, it will change. Now to see if I can get this over that knob. May have been better to put it over to begin with, but then I would have had to battle it in the way. I think I can just kind of stretch it over. Yep, good news. I was able to work it over. It was a little bit tight, but it went right over the knob. And now I just have to put it back down in position over the parking brake boot and parking brake, down this, and put the 3 screws back in. Here it is all reassembled. Screws all put back in place. Shifter in place. I think it looks pretty awesome. There it is. I think it looks great in there, especially on the Blackjack with all the black color. All right, so there's park. It's got the button you push on the front, push it in, pull it back, all the way back. There it shifts to second. Shift back down to first. There it pulls down to first. It's nice that now I've got manual shifting capabilities. So if you're going uphill like this, you can stay in a first as long as you want. Here I'm going to push second, second. It's not a super fast shift, but it does shift manually. Holding second gear. Works great. Let's try third. There it goes to third, fourth. I hit it for fourth, but it's not gone there. Oh, now it's gone there. So it takes a little longer. It's certainly not a super quick shift. Thanks for watching. That again is the Malibu shifter. I got it off of eBay, as you can see here. I'm sure you can find it other places, and good luck with your install.